Hello and welcome to the Millennium Sessions podcast. I'm here with
Theju, what's up?
AKA
AKA the King Chiller.
the King Chiller. And Teju just after performing his song Roots with us today. Lovely performance, big, mad stage design, as you can see from the impromptu couch we brought in. But yeah, I guess I'll just start off with the first question with how'd you become a rapper, man? How'd you get into this line of work?
Well, it started from making beats first. That was the first kind of musical thing I got into. I started making beats in like TY, like COVID kind of time, because we were all just bored. And I started doing that first as like just a hobby for fun, but then realized like I was actually into it and wanted to do it more and more. And then like once I started making beats, like after a while, I was like, it could be fun to like mess around and try and come up with some lyrics. And like at the start, they were shocking, like they were so bad. But then like the more I kind of did it, I just got a bit more into it, and then I was like, oh, maybe I kind of can do that. And then since college, it's just been like practice, practice, practice.
Just a snowball effect, just keeps rolling.
Yeah, basically.
Do you have any previews of some bad lyrics that you had?
Of some bad lyrics. Well, I have some that I personally don't think are bad. I think they're unreal, but they haven't made it past the notes app. That's what if you look through my notes app, I have like countless like one-liners there from like when me and my friends have just been like making up random things. Like I have one that was saying I don't get white boy wasted, I get brown boy blasted. I think that's pretty solid. But these ones, they don't really make it onto songs, but they're just there.
Is that kind of your writing process? Would it be like you might have kind of a structure to a song and then you're like, I need a bar, and then you go into your notes app and you pull out these ones?
I mean, honestly, like so many of my songs have started from like one bar that I had in my, like sometimes I'll just come up with a line, like they're not always piss takes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just come up with a line that I actually kind of like. Like even I remember there's this one song I wrote called 20 Cycles, where like the first bar I had in my notes app from like when I turned 20 last year, like on my 20th birthday, I wrote this line that said like, I just did 20 cycles around the sun, now my legs hurt. And I had just that in my notes app for like months then though, and I only finished the verse like way after, but it still just stemmed from that. And it was still like a song kind of about turning 20, but like I didn't write it all like on that day. And I have a lot of things like that in my notes app where like I find it easier once there's one line there, the rest of the verse comes so easy, but like coming up with something to start is always so hard, I feel like.
Yeah, but so like just the one line, it can be like a Kickstarter for like the whole song.
Definitely,
Like you were saying with 20 cycles and stuff, just the fact that you were turning 20, do you think it was better that you had time to be like 20 for a while?
Yeah, I mean that's true too. Like that probably helped with the rest of the verse too. And like it does sometimes, like I don't always feel like it has to be written in that one moment. Like sometimes I'll just like hear a beat and write a whole verse in like one go, and then sometimes I'll have one random line or I have one idea written in my notes app, because sometimes say if there's like a sample that like within the loop it's kind of saying something, or there's some vocals in the sample, maybe I'll try build something off that instead. So there's like different things that could kickstart it. And then a lot of the time, I might have a little bit or like a couple lines, and then I'll try and like, I still do most of the bulk of verses, I feel like, in one go. Like it's always like on the bus or the train or something is like the most productive thing for that, because I'll just put in headphones, and then for some reason that's when I get like all my ideas for bars and stuff. But yeah.
And you still make beats, obviously.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. And do you make, what's the kind of ratio with your own beats on your own tunes? Rick, I know this was a Jabro beat.
It was. Shout out Jabro.
Shout out Jabro. But yeah, what's the story? Is it like, do you give your beats away mostly, or do you keep them for yourself?
I've been doing a bit of both recently. For a good while there, I was like keeping a lot of them when I was kind of working on this one like project that I've been working on for a while, where like the majority of the beats on there are mine. Although like since coming to college and like going to some of the Wheel Up Wednesdays and stuff and meeting other cool producers and stuff like Jabro or Godwin or like Aiden and stuff, where like I have some tunes now with them, which is also fun because it's like a different kind of process, like getting a beat from someone else and then coming up with stuff to that. And that's fun too. Still like the majority of stuff are my beats, and I kind of like that too, because you can kind of hear the development of the sound. And then like some of the more recent songs are like more collaborative and it's like a different kind of vibe. But I like to do both, but I still definitely keep a lot for myself. But the last while, like most of the beats I've been making haven't really been for me, because like I've kind of had the stuff ready for this project that I've been working on. So now anything I'm making, I'm like trying to get out to like other artists or stuff like that.
And you mentioned there about Wheel Up Wednesdays. For those who don't know, what is Wheel Up Wednesdays?
So Wheel Up Wednesdays, we've given it a few different types of names of what to call it. I guess it's some form of like a collective in some ways, even though I feel like that term sometimes is a bit like, oh, collective. But like, this started last year in college from me, Michael, Dara, and Josh in my year, because Dara and Michael were already DJs. Me and Josh weren't, and like, me and Michael were just in like digs as well, like terrible accommodation, and the lads were in Thomond. So like, we just kind of started going there and like DJing, and they were kind of teaching us, and we were doing it on a Wednesday because like it worked with our timetable. We had like no college the next day or something. But it kind of just became like a routine thing, and then like me and Josh started to actually like know how to DJ. So then we kind of kept doing it, and it was just becoming more and more fun. And we gave it the name Wheel Up Wednesdays just because it worked. But then like towards the very end of the year, I guess some people in our year might have like said it to some of ye and some of the later years that like I remember on the like course night out last year, like I think like yourself and Godwin and Vitor and stuff were like saying it to us that like they heard about it and it sounded so cool, and we were like, what? I thought this was just us having fun. But then like once we knew that other people were interested in it too, we were like, okay, second year when we come back, like we'll actually start doing this. And then from the start of this year in college, we've just like been doing it like more or less every week, and it's just been getting like bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's mad how much it's grown from when I had heard about it. It was just like, it sounded like, oh yeah, it's just like a good bit of crack. Like we just chill out in someone's house, like have a few drinks maybe. But it's like the fact that it's becoming like a more of like a brand now, and like a collective, whatever a collective means. Yeah, but it's like it becomes like that, but it still has that homely feel of you're just hanging out with your friends,
Yeah, for
which is
sure.
really nice. So it's like it's hard to put a label on what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like I don't really feel like we need to, like it's still just going well, and like there's cool stuff coming out of it. So like we can be whatever people want to call us, but like, you know, it's still the same kind of vibe of the group stays the same. So like collective or group or label, whatever, you know, we can be each of them at the same time. But like yeah, it's just kind of more from the base like vibe of it that everything kind of stemmed from.
And would you say like you kind of got your like had you performed like rapping, like were you rapping before Wheel Up's live?
No, like that was basically, other than maybe like showing one or two of my songs to like a couple of my close friends, I hadn't really done anything. And like first year when we were doing the Wheel Ups, like we weren't really doing the rapping and stuff that we've been doing this year. 'Cause even that, that became a regular thing just 'cause of the, I'm sure you remember like that first Wheel Ups that like had all the people from your year and other people coming, and like it was just when the decks like cut out, there was some like technical issue, and then like people just started like beatboxing into the microphones, and like then people just started rapping and stuff, and then we ended up like playing hip hop beats, and we were like, that was just so much fun. So then we wanted to make that a part of each week as well for the kind of like beats and bars thing. But I had not at all rapped in front of anyone, and that first week when someone was like offering me a mic, I was like, Jesus,
no way,
man.
yeah.
I did not know, but then I think that's been like definitely like the biggest help to my rapping skills this last ages. It's like probably like that's why I feel like I can do it now, even for things like this. Like I would not have done this before, and I feel like it's gotten better as well, 'cause like you get a chance to just like mess around with it and see what goes down well. And like part of it was like realizing it's more about just like having fun than like being so serious. 'Cause that was one thing when I used to like write lyrics, I would like be just overthinking everything so much, like, oh, can I even say this? Is this even cool? Like, what am I even saying if this doesn't mean anything? But then like more of the tunes I've been making recently and like since Wheel Ups and stuff, I've kind of been like, it actually doesn't like really matter if I'm like a lyrical prophet. Like I just need, I'd say whatever I'm actually like thinking or stuff I would be saying anyway, and like I can just have a bit of fun with it, and then that kind of makes it a lot better and more authentic feeling. And Wheel Ups has definitely helped with like rapping in front of people, 'cause I would not have been able to do that before.
It's such a nice thing to have, to be able to like kind of practice what you want to do in a safe space. 'Cause if you were just told, all right, yeah, here's your first gig, just hop up on stage there without rapping in front of anyone before, like
I would not have been able to do it, man.
no, it's like I don't think anyone would, like, but especially I feel like with rapping, it's such a community thing that you need people there. You can't just
Yeah,
sit
definitely.
like compared to like you're a DJ yourself. Compared to like DJing, you can just practice that in your room. You know what sounds good. You're not gonna sit and like stare at a wall and like rap to it and be like, yeah, that was sick.
No, it's not the same. Because even if I'm like practicing my rapping stuff at home myself or whatever, like before a gig or before something like this, maybe, and it's like I can practice, but that's more so like just making sure I know the song and I know the lyrics and stuff. Because you cannot get the same energy or like delivery or anything. Like there has to be people there, and it's like very much based on their response to it as well. You see what goes down well. You kind of get more of an understanding of like how to deliver the lyrics and stuff like that that you can't really get by yourself. Yeah.
And is it like, is performance something you've grown to like enjoy more? Like a lot of musicians are like, oh, I just want people to listen to my music. Like I don't want to do this whole performing thing. But with some musicians, like I presume like yourself, it's like that's part of it. Performing is what makes it like.
Yeah, it definitely has been because I've been loving it. Like before second year in college, I hadn't performed anything in any way, like even with DJing or anything. Like there was only some gigs since second year started that I've been like actually performing in front of people in any regard. I'd never done it, but like I used to not even think it was really something I'd. Not even that I wouldn't want to, but I would feel like too nervous about it. I'd be like, oh, I don't know if I could like rap on stage. That's like so embarrassing. But like I guess it was also just a bit of like confidence building with it as well, and maybe through some of the wheel ups and stuff. The more I did it, and like you see people, other people engaging with it and like thinking it's fun, and then I'm like, then it gets to that point where now I'm like performing. It's like super fun, and I'm down to do it as much as possible, and I would love to do that. And I think it's such a good way of like showing people your music, because you could go just like listen to the songs, and like I would obviously hope people do that too, and you could still get an enjoyable experience. But I feel like if you get to see them live even first, or like someone just come to some gig randomly, they don't know who I am, but then you get the nice like live vibe. I think it definitely is a lot better than just hearing it on like Spotify or something.
With your kind of like rap style, it's very like unique to like other rappers I've seen around the place, and just like, yeah, where did that come from? Was it inspired by just people you were listening to, or was it
Yeah,
just
definitely. Like it's just the kind of music I've been listening to for a while. I guess coming with the production as well. Like there was a lot of influences in the production from obviously like some of the goats like Jay Dilla and stuff. Some of the biggest influences, or like Knowledge, or then like the rap styles. I feel like the main type of rap I've been listening to the last while is kind of that slightly more like abstract, like underground, the kind of like Earl Sweatshirt and Mike and those kind of guys, which I've obviously taken a lot of inspiration from, because like those are just some of my favorite rappers to listen to. So I think naturally, even just by osmosis of that much listening, I like kind of the writing styles might like take some inspiration from that or something. But then it's a mix of different styles, because you could have the like Mike type beats, and then also like the J Dilla type beats, which are obviously like completely different. But I'm like, I kind of like that I have significant inspiration from like those different areas, because it kind of combines to be a bit of a mesh of the sound, which is a bit cooler.
do you find it hard to live the double life of a DJ and a rapper?
Not. I mean, the DJing isn't even like really something I'm making like one of my main things. Like I'm having great fun with it, and obviously the wheel ups and stuff I'm always down to. But like, still the DJing is kind of a bit more for the crack. Like the production and the rapping is kind of mainly what I actually want to do, and like making my own music and stuff. And I'm still gonna keep DJing definitely, but like I wouldn't want that to be like my main thing either. Like I don't think I'd necessarily be doing like being having any resident spots or anything. Like it's more just I like to do it for fun and in spaces like the wheel ups, or the odd time doing some set myself or something, and it is still great fun. But like I think the production and the rapping kind of are coming first for me.
But was that with the production? Does that production also fall into maybe like garage or house or something like?
It has, since I've been more exposed to it in college and like wheel ups and stuff, because even some of those kind of styles of music, I would have listened to like some of them, but I wouldn't have gotten that much into a lot of the different like electronic music styles that like I've gotten a lot more into since either learning how to DJ, because obviously then you start hearing those tunes all the time. So then I've done some. I haven't done a lot, and I want to do more, but I have still in more recent times been starting to make some like different garage remixes or some slightly like houseier things, just because it's fun and it's really cool to be able to like play something that you made if you're DJing as well. It's really cool to be able to make one of your own remixes. So like I have been making a lot of them recently, and I want to do a lot more because that's the fun side of it as well, mixing the two.
Do you think it's important for a producer to switch genres every once in a while and not get fatigued from
I
making the
would
one
definitely
type?
think so. Like obviously some people have their own sound or their own niche and they stick to that, and it's like that's fair enough. And like I do that sometimes. I'll go on these stages where like all I'm doing is making rip off Dilla beats for like a couple months or whatever. But I like to more or less be doing different kind of things. I don't necessarily plan it out. Sometimes I would if I'm like, okay, today I might want to make like a garage song or something. That's a bit different. But when it's within the kind of like rap beats and stuff, it's more just whatever comes out on the day. I might just like pick a sample or something and just see where it goes. I'm not really like, okay, I made this type of beat yesterday, let me switch. But like, it just naturally kind of goes in different directions, and there'll be a good bit of variety in there, which I think is great. Because otherwise, you just start getting to that beat block stage where you just can't make anything if it's all just the same.
And where would you find your samples? Where would you kind of go crate digging to look for things to sample, or is it just you'll hear a tune and you'll be like, this would be cool if I sampled?
It's a big mix. Like, there's a lot. You have plenty of channels on like YouTube and stuff. Like, there's one. I feel like loads of producers will know called Andre Navarro, where like there's just these people that post these kind of old like unfound, like they might not be on streaming and stuff. Just these old kind of sample songs and stuff. So I would first find a lot on YouTube. Recently, the last good while, I honestly found most of them on Spotify, 'cause like I just started using different things in the algorithm more. And like even once you get a bit of a collection in like a playlist or something, and then the recommended songs, and like recently, I guess maybe with more like the AI stuff built into the softwares, I don't know, but they're getting really good at it. So like I can just, it's so easy for me to find new samples and stuff on Spotify now, and I have like a playlist that's just way too long to get through all those songs. But then it's nice having a big bank of them that if I don't have a certain thing in mind for a certain day, like sometimes I might find a sample and sample it straight away. Otherwise I could just like shuffle that playlist, found something I found like a year ago that I never sampled, and put that on. So I guess a lot of them are coming from Spotify these days. And like sometimes it hasn't even just been sampling like old 70s records or whatever. I've also been like trying to just mess around with like modern songs as well, but just like remixing them or like doing different things with them. Say for example like that grime remix with the like Some Images of Paradise thing. And like
Shout out some
it's
images.
fun to just like mix genres too, 'cause that's obviously a completely different genre to rap, but it's fun to see how you can like bring them in and like incorporate different sounds and like mess around, do some like different, it's like having my take on like different types of music that I like as well, which is great.
Yeah, and with being in Limerick and it kind of being not a small scene, but like there's a small scene in Limerick of like musicians and stuff, like fairly close knit and tight, but they're all different genres. Um, do you feel that bleeds into your work, being around so many different types of musicians, because you have to deal with them? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely does, and like in a good way. I've enjoyed seeing like all the different types of music within the scene, and it's some stuff that I might not have really gotten into before, but I am more now. Or like even with wheel ups or like the college in general, where like you're just surrounded by a bunch of people that like the one thing everyone has is like a love for music, but people are all in their different niches. But then like collaborating with people like that, or you're just generally being around all these different types of music and stuff, and I think that's really good for like just whether I even recognize it or not, it's like subliminally giving me new ideas and stuff for even those kind of remixes and stuff where it's like I wouldn't have really thought to do that before, but then like the more I'm just exposed to those genres or the more I'm listening to them myself, I'm like, okay, I've been enjoying this for so long, like let me try and do something fun with it and like bring that in and stuff. And it's definitely helped to like get away from just the like same kind of hip hop beats type thing.
yeah. And with like events in Limerick, was there one that was on like next Wednesday or something? Is there something coming
I
up?
believe there might be on the 26th of March in Melody, Wheel Up Wednesdays gig.
Wheel Up sorry, is that Wheel Up Wednesdays?
That is Wheel Up Wednesdays on the 26th of March. That's going to be, it's our first proper gig outside of our accommodation because obviously it got shut down in the accommodation a while ago, tragically.
Rest in peace.
So the last while, any of the people that have gone to that have just been kind of lost and depressed, man. It's been rough. Like you come home after college on a Wednesday and I'm just like, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. So then, but I think it kind of helped for like pushing us to get a gig as well. Because as soon as it got shut down, we were like, okay, we need to get it back. So like, what can we do? What can we do? So then we got Melody booked now. So that's our first official gig, which can hopefully become a regular thing that we'll be doing as much as possible, because it was great fun in the accommodation, and we do wish it was still there for like that vibe and to have that regularly. But like also it was time to like bring it a bit further out as well and try and kind of actually bring it into the Limerick scene a bit more.
Yeah, like kind of stewing in its own juices there, just sitting in the accommodation.
Yeah.
And look, we're glad it's out now. We needed to kick up the arse anyway.
Yeah, I think it was good for that. Like, it was. I think if it didn't get shut down, like it could have been so easy for us to just keep doing it in there, because it was going really well, and like there was still more and more people coming, and we were getting great content out of it for like social media and stuff, which was a really great base for like getting that going before bringing it to gigs. And like it would have been nice to be able to do more of that. Although yeah, I think it was like a good kick up the arse for like actually getting something going, because otherwise I don't know if we would have gotten a gig this soon, because it's too easy to just keep having fun doing it in the gaff, and like you're getting videos for social media and stuff, so you're still kind of working on it, but it's not really the same as like actually trying to book gigs for it and stuff. So it was a gift and a curse.
And with that, I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, Wheel Ups. What month is it? What month is it?
Right now?
Yeah,
It's March.
March 26th in Melody. Thank you very much for being with us today and doing our podcast and performing a lovely song.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was
And
a pleasure.
thanks for sticking whoever's bike in the
Yeah,
background.
it's Dara's, man.
Shout out Dara. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.